Good morning, everyone. My name is David Thorne. I'm of the Superior Court of Arizona in and for Cochise County. Please rise as the Bisbee High School Law and Public Safety Program will be posting the colors. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Isabella Solis, your school body president.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can be seated. Please join me in welcoming Principal Jonathan Watts from Bisbee High School, who will give us some opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Bisbee High School, I'm excited to welcome you all to the Cochise County Law Day ceremony. We're honored to have you here as we come together to celebrate the law, our rights, and the spirit of unity that brings us together as a nation. First, a heartfelt thank you to Vice Chief Justice John R. López IV of the Arizona Supreme Court. We are truly grateful for your time, your leadership, and your commitment to justice. Your presence makes today's ceremony even more meaningful. We also want to thank court administration for selecting Bisbee High School as this year's host. It is a privilege to be a part of a tradition that highlights the essential role of the law in protecting our freedoms and shaping our communities. A warm welcome as well to our local dignitaries, officials, and honored guests. Your support for events like today make a real difference in helping educate and inspire the next generation. This year's Law Day theme, the Constitution's promise, out of many, one, reminds us that while we may come from many different backgrounds, we are united by the Constitution's guarantees of liberty, justice, and equality. That unity is our strength. Law Day is more than a celebration. It is a call to action. It is a reminder that the Constitution's promises are kept alive through the work, dedication, and respect of every one of us. Thank you again for being here. Let's make today a celebration of our shared commitment to the law, to justice, and to each other. Enjoy the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Watts. Next, please join me in welcoming Nevaeh Serrano, who is Bisbee High School's class president. She's going to be reading the 2025 Law Day Proclamation.
Whereas on July 4th, 1776, representatives from 13 disparate but United States of America declared independence from a tyrannical king and proposed as their motto, E pluribus unum, or one of many one, a phrase symbolizing the unity of a nation founded on the ideals of liberty, equality, and justice. Whereas the drafters of the Constitution seeking to prevent tyranny by any one group, separate for the powers of the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary among three branches of government, ensuring no one faction could rule unchecked. Whereas throughout our history, the American people have continued to pursue out of many one, including the 14th Amendment granting citizenship to all born or naturalized in the United States, and the 15th and 19th Amendments by extending voting rights regardless of race or sex. Whereas the United States has always consisted of many viewpoints, religions, and experiences, and the trajectory of this country has been to include more voices, thus becoming a true representative democracy of the many. Whereas immigrants from around the world continue to come to the United States to embrace our shared democratic values and enrich our culture and economy. Whereas public education was designed to serve as a unifying force, providing an economic benefit, instilling values of civic virtue, and bringing social classes together to form one united citizenry. Whereas we, the people, are united by our shared responsibility to contribute to the common good through jury duty, voting, taxes, and military or public service. Whereas we, the people, are also brought together in pursuit of legislative efforts that promote healthcare, education, clean water, and clean air, national emergency responses, and national parks. Whereas while the United States has made great strides in realizing E pluribus unum, inequality is still persistent and political polarization threatens our shared sense of community. Whereas in 1958, President Eisenhower proclaimed Law Day to honor the role of law in the creation of the United States of America. And in 1961, Congress issued a joint resolution declaring May 1st Law Day.
Thank you, Nevaeh. This morning I have the privilege of introducing Vice Chief Justice John R. López IV from our Arizona Supreme Court. Vice Chief Justice López was appointed to the Arizona Supreme Court in 2017. Prior to his appointment from January 2015 to January 2017, he was Solicitor General for the state of Arizona in the Office of Attorney General, where he handled civil lawsuits and appeals as well as criminal appeals, including capital cases. He worked in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Phoenix for over 12 years, serving in various roles including Executive Assistant U.S. Attorney, Chief Assistant of the Phoenix Office, Chief of Financial Crimes and Public Integrity Section, and Deputy Appellate Chief. He also served for 6 months in Iraq as a legal advisor with the Regime Crimes Liaison Office, the Department of Justice-led group tasked with assisting the Iraqi government with the prosecution of Saddam Hussein. Before joining the U.S. Attorney's Office, he worked in private practice with a Phoenix law firm as a civil litigator for several years. He graduated from the University of Texas in 1992 and from the Arizona State University College of Law in 1998. Please join me in welcoming Vice Chief Justice López.
Well, thank you, Judge Thorne, and good morning. It is an absolute delight to be back in Cochise County, and especially in Bisbee, and it's a privilege to speak with you today about Law Day. So, as we all are aware, the topic, the Constitution's promise out of many one, e pluribus unum, is a topic near and dear to me and is undoubtedly to all Americans, and if it's not, it certainly should be. The United States is the longest surviving constitutional republic in history. The Constitution is what distinguishes our nation from all other nations in the world and through history. And it has created the greatest period of prosperity and liberty in human history. The late Justice Scalia spoke eloquently about what distinguished our Constitution from those of other nations. And some of the speakers have already alluded to that today. It's the structure of our government as set forth in the Constitution. The Constitution divided power within the federal government in the separation of powers in Articles 1, 2, and 3. And it also divided power between the federal government and the states. This unique structure of division of powers prevents the centralization of power. This is the key to preventing tyranny. Our founders learned that lesson as they were all well versed in the history of government throughout human history. Justice Scalia explained that other constitutions, like then the Soviet Union's, were chock full of specific guaranteed rights. They essentially offered rights to everything, including food. It looked like a utopia on paper. But many, in fact, even thought that it seemed like it was better than our Constitution because it gave all of those promises very specifically, and ours was vague on details. But the Soviet Constitution and the society founded upon it and those of other nations failed because they did not decentralize power to guard against tyranny as our Constitution uniquely does. But what I really want to talk to you about today is how the Constitution unites us as a nation, as a people, how it transforms a collection of states, peoples, and ideas into a single cohesive nation. How it creates a framework where differences are not erased, but are tolerated and ultimately harmonized by the common purpose to ensure liberty and security for all. This unity is reflected in a simple grammatical symbolism. We do not say the United States are, we say the United States is. When the Constitution was drafted in 1787, the United States, as you all know, was hardly united. The Articles of Confederation had proven too weak to hold the states together. Each state had its own interests, its own currency, and even its own tariffs. They operated essentially as separate nations. The nation was a patchwork of competing identities, ranging from New England merchants to Southern planters to Western frontiersmen, all with different languages, dialects, religions, and cultures. On the surface, seemingly an insurmountably divided collection of nation states. The framers of the Constitution knew, though, that unity did not mean uniformity. Instead, the Constitution was crafted to provide common ground, a structure that was flexible enough to accommodate all of these differences, yet strong enough to bind us together. In Article 1, the creation of a bicameral legislature, of course, the House of Representatives and the Senate, was a masterstroke of compromise. Large and small states found representation in their populations in the House relative to their population, but also equal voice in the Senate, where each had 2 senators. In Article 2, the presidency provided a unifying national executive in that every citizen voted for the president. That still is the only elected office in the country where every eligible voter has an opportunity to vote. And in Article 3, the judiciary offered a neutral arbiter to settle disputes, to clarify the law, and to uphold justice across the nation. Now, the preamble to the Constitution sets forth the objective that the Constitution bind the nation together based on principles of liberty and common purpose. It reads, as I'm sure we're all familiar, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity." Now, for anyone my age or older, reading the preamble is difficult because you want to sing it, because you learned it from Schoolhouse Rock. from programming that my daughters, who are still college and high school age, learned it that way too. It's very difficult to read it because you want to start singing it because that's the way you memorized it. But these are all poetic phrases in the preamble, of course, but more importantly, they are guiding principles that bind the many of us into one. We the people, not we the states, not we the parties, not we the factions, but the people, a single body, diverse and collective, claiming responsibility for shaping our shared destiny and the destiny of future generations. Every phrase in the preamble underscores unity, justice for all, tranquility among all, defense of all, welfare of all, and liberty for all. The Constitution was not written to favor one region, one race, one class, or one creed. It was written to empower all of us together. Now, one of the Constitution's most innovative achievements was its embrace of federalism, the division of powers between the national government and the states. Rather than dissolve the states into a singular central authority, the Constitution acknowledged that the states would retain a significant degree of sovereignty, a fancy word for independence and authority. The respect for regional and cultural difference was essential to forming a union in the first place. The Articles of Confederation made that clear. After all, our founding generation had just liberated themselves from the tyranny of a centralized monarchy, and they had no interest in replicating that again in their own government. But despite the authority reserved for our states, federalism also provides a powerful means for unity through enumerated powers and the Supremacy Clause, which granted the federal government exclusive powers in certain limited areas and made the federal law superior to state law in those areas. The national government could establish consistent laws, defend national interests, and protect rights across state lines. Simultaneously, of course, states could serve as laboratories of democracy, tailoring policies to their people while still belonging to a broader constitutional framework. This balancing act between local identity and national unity is one of the Constitution's greatest contributions to governance. It proves that we can celebrate difference without sacrificing unity. Now, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, everyone knows as the Bill of Rights, are often seen as the ultimate safeguard for the individual. They specifically prevent the government from infringing on our core rights. But the Bill of Rights also serves to create and preserve national unity. And so how, might you ask, does the Bill of Rights, which expressly is detailed and intended to preserve individual rights against government tyranny, how can that encourage national unity? Well, because when everyone, regardless of race, region, religion, partisan view, or other point of difference, can speak freely, worship freely, assemble freely, and be protected from tyranny, a foundation of mutual respect and trust is formed between citizens. Tolerance of others ensures protection of our own rights. These rights ensure that every voice can be heard in the national debate on all matters of public concern. Moreover, rights like due process and equal protection before the law, set out in the Fifth Amendment and reinforced in the 14th Amendment, bind us together under a shared understanding of justice. They allow, for example, a Muslim American in Michigan, a Catholic in Arizona, a Jewish family in New York, an atheist in Massachusetts, and a Buddhist in California to stand all equal before the Constitution. We are all regarded as the same. Now, we need not embrace and celebrate others' views, and we shouldn't confuse tolerance for compulsion to embrace and celebrate views which violate your own views. But we must tolerate other views because respecting their right to their own beliefs protects our own rights. The fundamental respect of others' rights is the glue that binds us. Now, the founders' brilliance, in my view, shines through the Constitution. As a reflection of their unique wisdom, the founders understood that they could not anticipate every circumstance that future Americans would face. So they crafted the Constitution with the foresight that future generations would grow, would learn, and change. That's why Article 5 provides a process for amending the Constitution. This mechanism has allowed sea change in our society, and has allowed us to extend the promise out of many one to those who were too long excluded. Through constitutional amendments, we abolished slavery. We guaranteed the right to vote regardless of race, gender, or wealth. We secured civil rights, and we lowered the voting age to 18, giving younger Americans a voice in their own future. The Constitution's adaptability is, of course, its strength. It doesn't fossilize the past and compel us to live with it. It animates the present and gives each generation of Americans the prerogative to conform society to evolving social values and visions for the future, as long as they don't violate the rights of individuals as protected in the Constitution. Now, too many today, in my opinion, think that society's challenges that we face are the product of the Constitution. They urge that we replace the Constitution with a purer form of democracy or a more powerful government. Resist these calls. Of course, our history is not without contradiction. For many, the Constitution's promise was not realized for centuries. Too many were denied the rights the Constitution expressly guarantees to all. But these failings were not traceable to flaws in the Constitution itself, but rather our forefathers who, like all of us, are flawed in error because they are human. They were brilliant, they were wise, they created the most enduring governance covenant between people and their government in history, but they weren't perfect. The beauty of the Constitution is that it gives us the tools to challenge injustice, to demand that these rights be applied to all, and to fight for the more perfect union addressed in the preamble. When Frederick Douglass called out the hypocrisy of a society governed by the Constitution that permitted slavery, when Susan B. Anthony demanded that women be counted as citizens, and when Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of a nation where children are judged by their character rather than the color of their skin, they were not rejecting the Constitution. Rather, they were holding America to the Constitution's promise. Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King Jr., and countless others like them made America better, not by rejecting the Constitution, as too many are calling for today, but by demanding its application to all of us. In my view, their wisdom to embrace the Constitution and not shun it, and their courage to demand its protections for all, qualify them as modern founders of our nation. Now today, as someone alluded to, we live in deeply divided time. Red states, blue states, urban and rural, left and right. For people in Arizona, perhaps, U of A and ASU. The divisions can feel insurmountable at times. But let us remember that we've overcome worse division and conflict. We've been here before in our history. Our Constitution is not a relic of the past. It's a living framework for dialogue, for governance, for common purpose, and for compromise. The answer is right there in front of us. When we vote, when we serve on juries, when we generally engage in civic life, and especially when we listen to each other across difference, we breathe life into our founding principles and purpose. Out of many, one. The Constitution doesn't ask us to agree on everything. Indeed, it requires that we agree on only one thing, that we commit to the process, to the rules of the game that respect each player. Sometimes we call this the rule of law. In doing so, it keeps us talking, it keeps us compromising, it keeps us tolerating our differences by respecting each other's rights, and it keeps us believing in the possibility of unity. In closing, the U.S. Constitution's promise, e pluribus unum, is not a guarantee, it's a covenant between us and our government and between us and our fellow citizens. A call to each generation to rise above division, to reaffirm our shared humanity, and to strengthen the bonds that unite us. It is a promise that no matter where you come from or what you believe, you are part of the American story. And despite our flaws and mistakes, the American story has been one of growth and improvement, born of self-reflection, innovation, liberty, and generosity. We are not just a great nation, we are also a good nation. As precious individuals, we are many, and yet through the Constitution, through its vision, its protections, and its spirits, we are also one. Let us honor that promise beginning today and for every day that we live, not just in word, but in deed. Thank you.
Good news is, we're more than halfway done. Please join me in welcoming Veronica Olivares. She's going to introduce the winners of the Law Day contests and present their awards.
Good morning. The 2025 Law Day winners are, for posters, kindergarten through 5th grade, we have first place, Evelyn Castro Watson from Greenway Elementary School. Please come up. We have a tie for second place. Julia Gadanik, she's homeschooled. Come on up. And her sibling, Peter Gadaniak, homeschooled. Come on up. Third place, we have Knox Asher Velasquez from All Saints Catholic School. Graphic Arts Photography, 6th through 8th grades. We have first place, Mia Skeet from Colonial Smith Middle School. Second place, Harley Schmidt from Colonial Smith Middle School. Third place, Jonalise Rosario Higuina from Colonial Smith Middle School. Essays 6th through 8th grade, we have first place Abigail Gleckner, All Saints Catholic School.
What does a perfect union mean to you? This is the question I'm being asked as it relates to our country, or any country for that matter. I believe that a perfect union cannot be created solely based on my individual thoughts or one opinion exclusively. When attempting to achieve a perfect union for our nation, I believe we must seek opinions from different sides within our communities. Having different feelings on topic or belief, and the ability to express one's thoughts and feelings is the foundation and the only way to begin the process of creating a perfect union. This realization led me to interview my family members, where I discovered common ground among us despite different political beliefs. My father said we should focus on better compromise and a willingness to understand the other side. Safety and security are also important, as well as the ability to provide for all citizens. He further stated that a good or perfect union would be one that has good morals because we cannot come together if we do not love and respect each other. My grandmother expressed the idea that we should strive for world peace, foster cooperation between different parties, and prioritize sharing wealth, especially to help the poor, while prompting self-sufficiency. I believe her words embody the values that my All Saints Catholic School seeks to instill in us, values of compassion, collaboration, and social responsibility. From my aunt's perspective, she believes that we should all be able to have our beliefs and have a right to be open about it. My uncle adds, the political parties on both ends must stop the blame game and focus on how to fix and solve the problem. Their insights, along with those of many others, show that many of us truly desire peace and understanding. We long for love and harmony rather than conflict, anger, or division. I've also realized that the freedom to express one's opinion, although it may be different depending on who you talk to, is the foundation of a great union. We cannot begin to seek a better union if we cannot express our own freedoms of thought and speech. No nation, at any time, nor any place, has succeeded without the ability to speak freely. I also realize that having conversations, compromising, and agreeing to disagree help foster progress. Even if it seems like we are getting nowhere, going nowhere is when we stop sharing our thoughts and opinions. This represents my ideal union, and I am truly grateful.
Second place, Sofia Somoza from All Saints Catholic School.
My essay will talk about what I think is a perfect union. The word perfect union can mean something different to other people. The three things I will be talking about is number 1, why it's important for citizens to have equal rights. Number 2 is why it's important we have secured benefits. The last one is why I think it's important to have a balanced government rather than an unbalanced government. In my opinion, I think the most important one is why it's important for all citizens to have equal rights. Each U.S. citizen should have equal rights because people should have the same opportunities as everyone else that lives in America. The citizens should also have the same protections as everyone else. We shouldn't judge on how people look or what background they come from, because in my opinion, that's not what a perfect union would do. If this union didn't have equal rights, the union would be completely separated. This is why I think it's very important that we all have equal rights as a U.S. citizen. The next one is why it's important that we have secured benefits. It's important that we have secured benefits security for us as individuals and for our families. We are all going to retire one day, and we need this so we can have a retirement plan. These benefits can also help employees. It can help employees by helping them with their savings and can reduce the stress they have on a daily basis. This is why it's important we have secured benefits. The last one I will be talking about is why a balanced government is important for our union. If we don't have a balanced government, the power of this nation can be unbalanced. The nation would be stable, and that can affect the rights and protections we have. The government would be very unorganized, which isn't good because it can lead to more issues for the government and the nation. This nation would just turn into chaos if we had an unbalanced government. The branches would have more power than the others, and that wouldn't be good. This is why it's important we have safe, secured, and balanced government. This is what, in my opinion, would be a perfect government. The three reasons I talked about are I think, the most important ones that would help create a perfect union. The U.S. citizens should feel happy, safe, and proud that they live in this country.
Third place, we have Cesar Morales from All Saints Catholic School. And reading his essay is Andrés Borges Acero.
What a more perfect union means to me and the nation comes down to three simple, yet very important topics: protecting the freedoms and rights of all people, having a balanced government, and having equality for everyone. To me, these three topics are very important in establishing a more perfect union. First, my topic, I said protecting the freedoms and rights of all people. I think this means that everyone in our country has the same rights and freedoms as everyone else. And these rights are what keep our country united. The things like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and right to bear arms are essential for establishing a more perfect union. And without these basic rights and freedoms, I think our great country wouldn't last very long, and it would make our everyday lives way more difficult. On top of that, when everyone has these rights, we create an environment where people can thrive and achieve great things. For my second point, having a balanced government, personally, I think this is the most important topic that I have listed for the reason for which I believe this is very simple, just like at it this way. What type of country would we have if we were ruled by a dictator? Or imagine if none of the citizens had any say in laws and couldn't have any opinions or current government issues and problems. What if our country wasn't united at all and the president told us what to do? What a terrible country that would be. And for this reason, I believe that having a balanced government is a crucial part in forming a more perfect union, and I believe that without a balanced government, our country would fail. For my third point, equality for everyone, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. For everyone needs to be treated equally. We shouldn't judge people or treat them in any different way just because of their race, religious beliefs, or their gender. Everyone in our country deserves to be treated with equality and respect. Everyone needs to have the same opportunities to do things or participate in something. When everyone is treated equally and with respect, it makes people feel more confident about themselves, and overall, it is great to give people the confidence to do things. And with this the people of our country can achieve great things, just like the founding fathers wanted to all those years ago. In conclusion, there are three topics that I talked about: protecting the freedoms and rights of all people, having a balanced government, and having equality for everyone, are what I personally believe best describe what a more perfect union means to me and for the rest of the country.
Essays 9th through 12th grade. First place, Alondra Arellano Estudillo from Center for Academic Success.
Why is it crucial that the Constitution can be changed? Usually things change as the years go by. We live through different historical moments, and the laws no longer adapt to current times. That's why I think if the times change, the Constitution can too, since if it has not changed, then it will become obsolete in today's world. Furthermore, over time, the Constitution has been modified approximately 27 times. To begin with, the first change to the Constitution was in 1791 with the ratification of the Bill of Rights, which was formerly known as the first 10 Amendments in the Constitution. And the reason for its inclusion was because it guaranteed that everyone had rights and freedoms, like freedom of speech, religion, right to bear arms, and the right to a trial in a jury, etc. These changes were and are part of the life of every American citizen. If these rights never had been included in the Constitution, many people would have suffered from injustice. The Ninth Amendment even dictates that those rights that aren't in the Constitution should be protected, thus protecting the integrity of every citizen when it comes to a trial or being judged by law. That's why the Constitution should be open to change so that it does not become obsolete today and can create a peaceful community. However, being open to change does not mean all changes are acceptable. Each law must be analyzed rigorously to be approved or rejected. This process is carried out by the three branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial. The first creates the law, the second enforces them, and the last makes sure they are accomplished by society. Finally, the Constitution will always be important to maintain the integrity of a country, but it must also take in account the importance of adapting to current societies and their needs. They change. Times change, as do people. Therefore, having the possibility of changing the Constitution is crucial so that it can be functional in today's society.
And second place, Daira Gallardo Valencia from Center for Academic Success.
The 14th Amendment and the future generations. The Constitution of the United States of America protects and develops our nation. The United States is often perceived as the land of opportunity in Latin American countries. Thousands of citizens worldwide choose to have their children in the United States of America in the hope of a better future, generating a common target, the American dream. The American dream, ideal that the United States is a land of opportunity that allows upward mobility, freedom, and equality for people of all classes who work hard and have the will to succeed. The Constitution not only protects American citizens of previous generations, but also children born in the United States of America, no matter if their parents are foreign. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution and forthcoming generations should be respected. Regardless of the nationality of their parents, every American citizen has an opportunity to evolve and improve our country. The United States is a multicultural country with immigrant nationalities from countries such as Mexico, India, China, the Philippines, and El Salvador, among others. Thousands of foreigners are parents of U.S. citizens by birth. The economic and personal sacrifices these individuals make to achieve the American dream are exceptional. Sons and daughters of foreigners often excel in financial and personal life. Using millions of records of immigrant families from 1880 to 1940 and then again to 1980 to today, we find that in the past and still today, children of immigrants surpass their parents and move up in the economic ladder. Children of immigrants are often nonconformists, representing a new generation of diversity and economic growth for the nation. The Constitution of the United States of America, created by the Founding Fathers George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison, specifies the rights of the United States citizens. Birthright citizenship is protected by our nation's Constitution. The Founding Fathers created the 14th Amendment to achieve equality among citizens, regardless of their race or parent status. The protection and rights shall be identical to all U.S. citizens. The 14th Amendment marked a past and present in United States history, spreading freedom and diversity around the country. A hardworking individual benefits the country, regardless of their origins. Immigration has been the major driving force behind U.S. labor force growth over the past 20 years, according to data from the U.S. Census Bureau. Although the country population is increasing, immigrants and citizens of Hispanic backgrounds or origins from other countries have indicated to contribute to economic improvement. The right to grant U.S. citizenship by birth within the nation has not only increased cultural diversity, but also provided new economic opportunities for the country. Being a child of a foreign background shouldn't impede the country's new generations. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to a jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Citizenship at birth is a right of a U.S. citizen. Not only do individuals pursue benefits, but the nation will earn economic improvement, diversity, and evolution. The Father of our country guaranteed U.S. citizenship to any human being born in the United States. History is written daily. However, countless national heroes are U.S. citizens by birth.
And those are our winners. One last round of applause.
I want to take this opportunity once again to congratulate the winners of our 2025 Law Day contest. Please join me in getting them home. Especially the essay winners who came up and read their essays. It took a lot of courage. Standing up in front of a group of people that you don't know, trust me, I know is very difficult. I've done this a long time, but it's still very difficult, and you showed a lot of courage today, and you should be congratulated for that. I want to thank Principal Watts for hosting the event and for all those who worked to put this together, including the Bisbee High School Student Council and the members of the Law Day Committee. Finally, I want to thank Vice Chief Justice John López for his generosity in taking the time to come down here and share his remarks with us today. Please join me in expressing our gratitude to him. Finally, I want to leave you all with this. The United States Constitution has been referred to by some as a document that was divinely inspired. It represented an idea that I think is best summed up in the second paragraph of a different document that was drafted a dozen years earlier, the Declaration of Independence. The second paragraph of the Declaration, just happened to carry it with me, contains some language that I think is dated, but in the context of its time, it carries the spirit that's still true today. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Thanks again, everyone. Please stand. We're going to retire the colors, and then we'll be adjourned.
All right, thank you, everybody. So students, just relax. Let's do a couple of housekeeping things. Families and guests that came up for, we would like to invite you to come up for pictures and things like that. And student council, please remain here for pictures. Right now, we are still in second hour. Return to your first hour class to get your belongings. And then please report to second hour.